kind of fast because when I rehearsed this, I never got through it in 6 minutes, so we'll see. So Create3D. What is Create3D? Well, it's a brand new company founded here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm the founder. It's a full-service 3D printing company. What I mean by that is we'll do training, sales, and service. We'll do sales of maker-bought printers, which there's one right there. With a heavy emphasis on training, and I'm going to talk about why I think that's so important in this space. Phase 1 of Create3D is only going to focus on these two markets. Consumers, all of you are in my target market. People who want to explore what 3D printing is all about, make a keychain, make a line charm, make a luggage tag, make something fun, kind of hard, right? Then on education, and I really want to focus on getting into some schools. So who's Mark Guthrie? That's me. I'm a nerd at heart. Who are nerds at heart? Come on, come on. I love technology. I have a degree in information systems from, no, it doesn't matter. I was a software developer and then later a software development manager for Hewlett-Packard. When Hewlett-Packard was one of the great companies in the world, according to Tom Peters, one of the best companies in the world. Now, I have so much to say about it. I've spent about the last 20 years, I know I don't look that old, in the mechanical CAD space. And I shifted from that development side into doing sales and marketing in the 3D CAD space for very large software companies. And that's what my business currently is, Biz360, and I'm like a software exec for hire, kind of a mercenary kind of a guy for these software companies, all in the 3D space. So that's how I got exposed to 3D printing. It's all over engineering. It is crazy. You read any industry magazine, this one is Aerospace Manufacturing and Design, to cover additive manufacturing moves into the mainstream. That's what 3D printing is additive manufacturing. So I ask people, you know what 3D printing is? Yeah, no, I don't. Well, do they make guns with that? That's kind of like, I get that more than anything, right? So additive manufacturing is laying down super thin layers, 100 microns, about a hair or a piece of paper, very thin, and then building on top of that. That is the concept, and that is being applied in so many ways. So just recently, chocolate, really, there is a chocolate 3D printer. Once you start thinking about this idea of laying down super thin layers of material, then like what materials can we use? So you can do chocolate, you can do concrete. There are printers right now that can print entire walls that you can set up for a building. I met a guy that's venture capital funded. They're working on how you do a whole building, not just a wall. So, think it, make it. That is our tagline at Create3D. So, thinking is all about the creativity. As humans, we take pride in creating things. There's an accomplishment feeling when we make something. We feel like, wow, we've done something. It's a way to express ourselves. There's a satisfaction about it. So when I think about Create3D, the consumer market, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about, is who wants to create? You can think it, and probably no time in history have you been able to make it so easily after you think about it. Why do I think it's all happening right now? Well, for one, compute horsepower. On your storage, your iPhone's so much power, it's amazing, right? So we have tons of compute power. Elegant user interfaces powered by that, and then people who really know how to design user interface as well. 3D software companies that have typically been in super high-end, thousands of dollars, really hard to use CAD software, are going deeper, and they're providing cheap and sometimes free, easy-to-use tools. And then, of course, the 3D printing technology. It's disruptive. What was is no longer true. Think of things that are impossible to make. Think about a whistle is a really good example. It has 3 parts, right side, the left side, and the ball. So the 3 parts have to be injectable and have to be assembled. With 3D printing, it's one pass, it's a whistle. Now think about, I've seen drill bits with hundreds of parts that are impossible to make with traditional manufacturing. You can make with 3D printing. Manufacture parts on site. Boeing is already doing this on some parts. I just read an article that they're going to put a 3D printer in the space station for making spare parts. Think about the possibilities this opens up. So consider a typical design or supply chain flow. You know, I am the customer, I'm making maker bots. I have to forecast, I order, I wait for someone to make it, I receive it, I warehouse it, then I make my maker bot. I'm a supplier to maker bot. I have to forecast how many parts I need, I need to make them, I need to process orders, I need to ship them, I need to transfer them. They have 1 minute. That's all going to change. 3D printing markets, we're focusing on the consumer and education and news. I have 1 minute, that's my slides. So this was in Fast Company, the world's 10 most innovative companies in consumer electronics. Apple was at the top of the list, MakerBot's number 9. What excites me? Kids are technology nuts. Kids, 2 and 3-year-old, can navigate with an iPad. They love games, they love texting, they love social media. So what if we could capture that intensity, and I got to cut off, so read the rest of the slide, but what if you could capture that, they can create it and make it. Think about what that's going to do to our young kids and what they're going to think about engineering. So, yes,
Mark, first of all, I think the training market, the training aspect of what you're talking about is great, so I just want to get certain concept. You talk about consumer market, that's very broad, so without getting into demographics, the segmenting that more, how are you going to go after it? What's your go-to-market plan?
yeah, so what we're going to do, I kind of buzzed that slide a little bit. We're going to structure a curriculum with using like the higher ed model, 100 series classes, 200, 300, 400. 100 classes will be like the one we're going to do Monday night here at the greenhouse. It's free, come, learn, experience. It's a free introductory kind of thing. The 200 level classes will be, okay, who wants to make a mold for making candles? Who wants to make custom picture frames? Who wants to make, again, it'll be like a single class, a special interest, so to speak. Then the 300 and 400 classes will be more advanced, probably more into solid modeling. You can learn more concepts, multiple sessions, that kind of thing. Then I want to also segment by ages. So I really do want to expose this to kids. So I'm thinking around 8 years old and up, and probably still divide them in groups of maybe 3 years or something. Probably don't want a junior high kid with a 3rd grader, so have courses that would be, again, maybe single, make something, but different age categories. And all the way up, I've had interest from senior citizens homes, which I think is exciting. Get their minds engaged.
The parts of their canes, right? I can say that with more against my mother.
Yeah. Yes?
The cost of your equipment, how do you see this being scalable?
So MakerBot, they have a mini, and that starts at I think $1,250, and then they go up to $4,000 or $5,000. And then the commercial grade ones are, that's the stuff that Boeing's using. Those are out of sight. So this is definitely an early adopter market. So you think about when color printers first came out, and you're like, why do I need a color printer? They were expensive. Well, there were early adopters who really wanted it. So that's where I think we are in that part of the curve. But the price, you're going to see these drop. People are saying you're going to see price decreases like 20% a year. There's a lot of competition in the market right now. So definitely an early adopter right now. And then to participate, you don't have to have a printer. So there's service bureaus out there. There's companies that they're in the production business. I don't see us really being that kind of production company, but there are companies that do that. So to participate, you don't need to do that. Come to our training classes, learn how to create things, and then there's a lot of ways to make them. Yes?
So I'm a little confused, and I'm confused because once somebody figures out how to make a whistle, they write a program for it, they put it in their iPad, and it's distributed worldwide, and now everybody can make a whistle. So 5 years from now, people who get educated sort of doing this stuff, again, are outsourced or completely irrelevant because it's all been computerized in. So I'm not quite sure
Well,
from a long-term perspective how this plays out.
Well, I think you're starting to talk about the IP part of it, and I glossed over that. I think this is going to unleash a huge opportunity, and also how are people going to manage their IP? Because that example I used of a supply chain, pretty soon I won't do that supply chain. I will just make that part. But someone created it, so I need to pay them a licensing. So they're no longer in the manufacturing business, they're in the IP business. They've been before in the order processing, warehousing, manufacturing, shipping business. Now they're in the design business. So what does that do to our whole manufacturing economy? Where now, literally, you can have so many designers, and you don't worry about manufacturing anymore. You don't need a tremendous, big capital investment in manufacturing. That's not the issue.
No, the issue is licensing and leasing.
Exactly, that's what I said. So,
You can't patent useful items at this point. I'm
Sure
sure
you
you
can.
things like whistle.
well, you invent a new whistle, you can patent it. Yes, sir.
Where's your income going to come from for the company?
So the three legs of it is training, and so we'll charge by class, sales of MakerBots, and service of MakerBots.